During the summertime, I used to work with the forestry as a firefighter. I fought forest fires. There wasn't much in Salem, so I says, well, I want to go see the world. 1961, I went down and enlisted and went to San Diego into my boot camp there. And from there, I went to Moffett Field, California. One thing about the military and the Navy, I found that once you have a responsibility real quick. And from Moffett Field, I got another good job. I went to Kodiak, Alaska. I get the call from the personnel off the base. He says, your orders are in. And the guy says, we're going to go to Halitactron Light 3. I said, what is that? And he had no idea. Never even heard about it. And he said, but one thing about it, it says RVN up here. You're going to Vietnam. So anyway, that's when I went to the Escape and Survival School down in San Diego prior to going there.
In order to teach your recruits.
Went to Vietnam. Here comes a pickup and haul me back to, take me over to Ben Tui, which that's where the Sea Wolves were headquarters. They asked me, well, where do you want to be? I had volunteered to become a riverboat, but I went up in helicopters, a helicopter squadron, and that squadron is the most decorated aircraft squadron in the Navy. They asked me where I wanted to go, and they said, you go into barracks because you're a bosun mate, or you can, or what? Or I said, I don't want to do that. He said, well, we'll put you in charge of the line at night. And he said, they've had troubles there. So they had to meet some supervision there. So, and pretty soon this master chief comes up to me. He says, we need an air crewman. He says, yeah, I'll try it. They took me for a flight, a helicopter flight. It was a test. I didn't really realize it until then. And he did what they call, you fly up like this, and he did a roller over, and the helicopter would stand like this for about 2 seconds, weightless. And I'm hanging out on monkey belt outside the helicopter, and then he came back inside. I passed their test, I guess. About 3 weeks later, says, you're an air crewman now. For most of the other guys, they've been through Fort Rucker and all these schools and stuff for months and months at a time. We were flying one of our patrols and stuff and flights, received a gunfire, and pretty soon the helicopter, the engine died. And here we go into an auto rotation, and it was this rice paddy. They called a Mayday when the helicopter's going down. Myself and the other crewmen had taken our guns and stuff and set them out a little berm. And you could see little guys in little black pajamas out there, way out there, thousands of feet. But there was too much open space because I got an M60 and I fired a couple rounds out there like, I'm here. Here comes a detachment of air cavalry. And they landed there and then they scurried off and chased those guys away. And they called a Chinook, came by and picked up our heels and took us back to Ben Tui. We also inserted SEALs, take a group of SEALs out there and drop them off. I didn't mind dropping them off. I didn't like picking them back up. Go flying along and I see a red flare and a yellow flare. That's a signal, that they were there and about ready to land. And all these SEALs come stand up all around us, out of the mud and the grass and stuff. That's kind of scary, They come back on board, and I didn't get to know any names hardly of the SEAL, but they were tough dudes.